Hey guys, welcome to PGI, Peter's Gaming Info, and this is the part 3 of Spider-Man 2 gameplay. So in the last part, if you remember, is introduction to Peter Parker's friend Harry that you meet, and a lot of the sections were sort of character building throughout the story, and there was a few bits of gameplay, but there wasn't much. It was more, like I said, character building, introduction of Harry and building up the story, and also introduction of MJ as well. It wasn't really an action-packed one, to say the least, but it did have some elements of like stealth gameplay and some traversal, just swinging around the cities and stuff like that. So there was a bit of gameplay, but it wasn't exactly action packed. This one definitely delivers more action, and it delivers more into of where the main story is going. So right now, playing as Miles Morales, he's trying to break into this facility that it's filled with like a lot of water inside the ship and everything, and it's just going through that part at the moment. I mean, hopefully you guys have been enjoying the Spider-Man 2 gameplay. Again, please use the voting polls, and do you even leave comments of what gameplay you want to see, or especially use the voting polls. I've been leaving like a number of them. They only take like a second to fill out, and it's really good in providing me with the knowledge of what gameplay you'd like to see, what games you'd like to see do gameplay on, or and just stuff like that. It keeps me knowing that I'm on the right direction, basically, to deliver for you guys at the end of the day, and that's the most important thing. So I've seen a number of views for part 1, and part 2 I only released yesterday, so it hasn't been that long. But yeah, please just keep using the voting polls. Write comments on games, gameplay you'd like to see for different type of games. Just let me know, because I've got Lies of P, like I've mentioned. That's the Souls-like. It's got really good reviews. I could do some streaming of that. Lords of the Fallen, I could continue, but I'm not particularly. I've come to a bit where I'm not particularly fond of that, to be honest. With some of the way the level has been designed, I'm not really feeling it too much. But yeah, just let me know. Just let me know which games you'd like me to do any content on. If you'd like me to continue Lords of the Fallen, we can do that. So yeah, just moving through this ship and this sort of like facility place, and I think the objective really is to find out where Scorpion is at this moment in time, and just get closer to him. Yeah, as you can see, that's one unique thing about Miles Morales that differentiates him from Peter Parker, that he's got this bioelectric power thing that he can just tap into. And talking about Scorpion, there he is. There's a bit too quick for Miles at this moment, unfortunately. I really like the sort of design that they've done, or like the polish as well, to that Scorpion. It's really good. I like the sort of like reflection, the shine that comes off his costume and stuff like that. It looks good. I think this game's like looking like really polished, and the mechanics have always been really good.
This isn't real.
So yeah, it's been a pretty rough one already for Miles. So this was like a really interesting part. So it was actually done really well. It's just Miles trying to get out of this, but having all these thoughts and memories that happen while he's just trying to navigate through this underground water part. And I thought it was actually put together really well.
It's so peaceful without my
Spider-Man, I don't have to worry anymore. None of us have to die.
I think this is all the sort of self-doubt that he's going through at the moment about himself, about is he confident enough to be, taking up being the next Spider-Man at the end of the day. Does he have what it takes? And the pressure and responsibility that comes with it and everything. I think that's what's going through his mind at the moment while he's trying to escape through here.
I have to get out of here. I have to find
Like his fears and doubts, essentially, I believe. He's made it through now. Oh yeah, and please let me know as well if you guys would just like to see just straight gameplay without any of the cutscenes. The reason why I involve these cutscenes as well because it ties in directly with the gameplay, and it's a very heavy story-driven game. And if I just go from one sequence to the next, you won't understand why these people, why this boss fight occurred, why you're fighting these type of enemies, why you're doing this or doing that objective. It just won't flow. But then again, some people may go, well, I can just check that out. I just want to see straight gameplay. I don't really care for the sort of story and narrative. So just, let me know as well. But I can only know if you guys give me the appropriate feedback for me to go, okay, I can now assess it and go, okay, this is what people want to.
You cannot escape!
Yeah, so this is where I think you first get access to the chain lightning ability, and I really like that one. It looks cool and it damages multiple enemies.
I'm after them now!
Sorry, pardon. So that's a really good one
No! I got this! Go on!
that they put in there, and it's directly after him having those fears and doubts and being in that underwater part as well. I think that was a manifestation of his fears and doubts, that his power was somehow triggered to that. It's evolved, almost that he believed he needed to become stronger, he needed to be more than what he is. After even getting defeated by Scorpion there briefly, I think that whole bit triggered his emotions and thoughts, triggered off his power to be, he needs to become better, he needs to become stronger, if he's to save all these people. And I think that's quite smart that you see the evolution of his power linked to like a sort of his mentality and how vulnerable he felt at the time. That's quite interesting actually. It's something I didn't pick up until I actually looking through this again. That's actually quite interesting development.
He's staying right here.
So like I said, this one is going to be way more action-packed than the other one. The other plot did have some interesting mechanics with the sort of stealth, where they made it more interesting than the normal stealth missions I've seen with the Mary Jane ones in the previous games anyway. So when those enemies they flash yellow and then they turn red, you wait for it to turn red and you press L1 and then you can actually parry. So it's more skill based, this game, this version of Spider-Man. It seems more challenging and way more and skill based, like with the parry, the way you use the focus meter, that you have to constantly get enough like attacks and dodges in to refill the meter, and then from there you can press down on the D-pad and heal. Where before I think you could spam heal and you had a number of heals you can gain by attacking and dodging, and those will just fill up as like slots, where now it seems it's way more skill based. Like they wanted to make the game more challenging. Maybe people complained it was too easy, or maybe they just wanted to they just wanted to have that kind of challenging, sort of more like skill based gameplay. I mean, it's a number of attempts I've had to rerun on this, even on normal difficulty, But you can select sort of like story, like a really easy story difficulty if you want. That is not really challenging. You're just going through for the story really. I thought I'd do balance. I was thinking of harder, but I thought as a first sort of playthrough, maybe not. And sometimes difficulties aren't really fully like optimized. They're kind of broken and one-sided in certain games, you know. So or until you reach to a certain point of upgrades and everything, where everything balances out. So I thought I would just take the normal route for now. And if I really like the game, maybe go with it with another difficulty, go with a higher difficulty.
Things just went from bad to East River on fire back.
So I'll be doing commentary throughout. I may not commentate on every single part, but I will just provide commentary where I feel it's just kind of either necessary or just to kind of, you know, just make comments here and there.
I got you. Hang on to something.
I think one thing that's cool is that you've got these sort of like quick time events, QTs, and they're very seamless between the scenes and those events, so it looks very dynamic and seamless. It doesn't look like there's any break when you're playing, and when you're like for example here, you cut into this, the transition is really crisp. It's really clean transition. It's really good. We've got this boat that's just going to be crashing down. You're just webbing up that huge fan not to, you know, just destroy everything. Everybody's slipping. There's a cool dodge by Miles.
Lay off me.
So yeah, back into action. Lots of fighting, as you see, compared to the previous part. Lots of action, lots of combat. One thing I think as well from seeing me play is that sometimes you see so many enemies and then you either get overwhelmed or you think, okay, I need to be moving around, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that. But I think that is not really the right mentality. I think you should be more sort of targeted and more tactical in terms of what you're doing. Because right about now, I'm just pressing buttons to think I should be active because there's so many enemies about. Whereas it's not probably the best way. It's working, but it's more like a panic mode, sort of like, oh no, there's like 5-7 different enemies, I've got to be pressing this, I've got to be pressing that. And it's like, no, you don't have to always be pressing something. No. So like I said, when they glow red, you can press L1 and then you get the parry in. Because those attacks, they can't be dodged, I believe. They can only be parried, and it's only from when the yellow glow turns red, then you can parry with L1. So I'm just trying to get rid of this last enemy here. And now we've got a villain, Master Lee. He was, I think, Master Negative he's called, or something like that. And Miles Morales, he's already drawn to him. You know, he's already tensely drawn to him, and he's not paying attention to any of the civilians there that are, you know, in trouble or anything like that. His focus is completely on him.
You don't know what you took from me.
I'm talking about villains. You've got the big one there. You got Hunter there.
Spiderman, let him go!
What they call him, Kraven, but I think so far they have his name as Hunter. It's Kraven. And you see Miles Morales, he is really intent on not letting him go. He's determined that he is not going anywhere. He's mine. and Kraven wants to take him, and there's that power struggle. And then Peter Parker, Spider-Man's trying to remind him, look, you need your help. You need to just forget about him. And Miles lets go. He realizes what he has to do reluctantly, and he gets with that fan, punches that. And look at that, people are saved. Dude, that was crazy. It's mad. Yeah, so that's a huge bit of chaos going on there. That people are saved.
Still fishing, but there's no sign of him. Any luck upriver?
It's all good really, and Peter and Miles will obviously meet up and
Who are those guys?
see
Whoever
how
they are, they're
things are
packing some
going.
serious tech.
And now they got all that, plus Scorpion and Lee.
Hey, whatever they're planning, we'll find them. We'll stop them.
Yeah. Pete. When I saw Lee inside that ship, my powers, they...
You think his energy got entangled with yours?
I don't know, man. But it feels volatile.
Wherever Electric Blue came from, it saved the day back.
Yeah, so he's just commenting that, that electric blue power, it feels volatile, it
Leave
doesn't
that where he belongs.
feel
Promise.
doesn't feel right. But Peter Parker's just saying, look, at the end of the day, we'll get to the bottom of this, and it did help, and we'll get to the bottom, what's going on. Fist bump, and then smooth, and then pow. So yeah, it's a lot more action-packed, this one. Introduction to two villains that are there and stuff. Mr. Lee guy, and obviously Kraven as well, is looking to play a big part in this game. So it's a much more action-packed part. I really liked what they've done with the abilities as well, where you got abilities, and what they've done with the skills as well. We've got different ability slots you can use. You can open 4 in total, but the 2 are unlocked until you reach a certain level, I believe. And then you can swap between this Venom Smash and the chain lighting for Miles Morales, and then Spider-Man will have his 2 that you can 4 in total, but 2 that are locked as well, that you can swap in between. Peter Parker, I should say. And then you've got the skill tree as well, where with the skill tree you've got individual skills, and then you've also got one that will apply to both Spider-Men. So when it comes to like web traversal around the city and stuff like that, so they've really put thought, Insomniac, into the sort of ability skills and the way that whole thing, how it all works and comes together. They put enough thought into it, which is nice. It's always good when you can have a number of abilities and skills at different times, and you can experiment with different abilities and stuff. It adds much more to the variety of what you can do. We also have different gadgets that are available these days as well. Available now as well in the game. You've got this upshot that allows for air combos and stuff like that, where it will launch multiple opponents up in the air, and you can continue doing air combos and stuff like that. You've got these different like web shooting ones as well. So you got different gadgets in here as well that you can experiment with and upgrade over time as well, which is really good. You've got a number of different costumes you can pick as well for both Peter Parker and Miles Morales as well. A number of different Spider-Man costumes you can unlock and pick. I think there's about 50 or 60 or something, so there's a whole range that you can go through. Me, I kind of stick with the default ones because I like the default ones a lot as it is, but you can change throughout as well. As you can see there, what I was talking previously, you can go through like the skill trees. So this one's Peter Parker's skill tree at the moment. You can go through Miles Morales one as well, and then they've got one that is for both of them. So that's normally for web traversal throughout the city and stuff like that, where it all applied to both. There's a number of things for you to experiment with. They thought of a lot, Insomniac. I give them a lot of credit. Each game that they've made since the original Spider-Man, and then to Miles Morales, the previous one, and then to this latest game, Spider-Man 2, it just seems to get better and better and better. They really seem like a game developer company that will stick to a formula that is great and works, but will expand on certain features and mechanics. And they will just implement stuff based around that, around improving, and also listening to the suggestions of what the fans and the critics have said in their previous games. They really seem responsive, because the way they built up on the game, you can tell this is a games developer who, they respond to feedback appropriately. They focus on what works and then fine tuning that and refining it, and it's paid off. It's paid off. Yeah, so all that all that part with Master Negative and Kraven and all that, it's all done now. And it was a good sequence. It was a good introduction to two villains. And also you got to see the chain lightning and stuff that seems to be triggered. So it's interesting development in terms of like abilities and to catch and stuff. You just see from where the story goes from there. I really enjoy like the whole thing where you can swap between two Spider-Men as well, Peter Parker and Miles Morales. I think that's very interesting. You're not just locked into one, and one's not just like a sidekick or a side character. That they both have as much importance as each other. It's really good that Insomniac, I think, have thought about that.
Just go see him and get it over with, Miles.
That's actually
Then
really
we
good
focus
touch.
on whoever took
And
Lee
for
and
both
Scorpion.
fans of
Something
Peter
tells
Parker
me
and
they're
Miles
planning
Morales,
something
I like
big.
both of them. They both complement each other, and they both got different abilities and play styles as well. So that's still good. Obviously they've got similarities and stuff, but they've got their own personalities and abilities and backgrounds as well. That's unique to them. So that's interesting as well. So it's good they do that, and they've done that as well. So this is like the slingshot ability. It just allows you to just launch and traverse in a very good way across the city, just like sort of springboard jump. And then it's just like loads of different traversal stuff. Obviously you got the like weapons as well, and you can start sort of flying across the city, like, and you can also just do your normal like web swinging and stuff, and tricks and jumps and stuff in that scene. There's a lot of good stuff. I mean, you can get the first time for this. I'm just excited to see how the rest of the game goes. I'm still kind of thinking what I'm going to do with the other parts, because I've got a number of parts now uploaded. I think I've got about 9 parts that I've done in terms of gameplay. But I would really like for you guys to use the voting polls and drop likes, put likes, put subscription, comments, and if you want to subscribe, it all helps. But more importantly, the likes and the using the voting polls gives me a good understanding of if I'm going in the right direction for uploading Spider-Man 2 gameplay. From what I've seen with all the reviews and everything, this is meant to be a highly anticipated game for Game of the Year, and it's something that I want to complete and cover for you guys as well to see, and if you guys like it, you can pick it up as well. I've had a lot of fun with it so far, and I'm just going through it, but there's no point, well, not no point, but if you guys aren't really wanting to see this gameplay, then at least I'll have a good idea. But if I can see a number of views, a number of likes, and the voting polls are saying continue doing Spider-Man 2 gameplay, because I've also got Lies of P, I've still got Lords of the Fallen as well. I know there was 2 votes for that to continue, but that was just 2 votes. And like I said, with Lords of the Fallen, I'm not really feeling to really continue it so much, because the level design on it can get really frustrating, and you become get to a point where you start falling off a number of ledges. You can get a bit lost with where to go, because even though it's interconnected level, it's done in a way where it's not really intuitive where to go. So there's so many different sections that you can visit that aren't taking you to the next area, and it just got frustrated, to be honest. And I just thought I'll give this a break. I might go back to Lords of the Fallen, but I've also heard Lies of P is a much better Souls-like, so why would I really continue with that as well, if that's the case? So many people have said it's a lot better. Loads of game reviewers, content creators, and just overall feedback for that is a lot better, so I'd love to continue with that, if anything. So, and what's interesting as well is, I will say this, I did get good of the commentary on the last fight. I did get a lot of feedback on them. I got other reviews that were really nice, but it seemed to like sort of maybe the struggle of going through it. I don't know. I may continue it. I might continue it. I might just put out a poll for Spider-Man 2, Lords of the Fallen, and just know between those games which ones do you want to see, because I think those are the only kind of games that I kind of have to go through at the moment. Yeah, I think it's just those games at the moment. I'm also trying to do games that are very that are up and coming or newly released as well. Any sort of older games, it's not like I can't do them, but there isn't much of them, because most people have replayed them, and you can look for gameplay or reviews for them straight away. If I release new stuff, you attract new audiences. And also, it's more interesting for you guys if you're skeptical about, oh, this game's looking really good, but I'm not too sure, should I play it, should I not play it? It makes far more sense for both you guys as the viewers and myself to be reviewing games that are new released games. But anyway, back to this game. So, with Miles, he's gone in contact with, I believe, his uncle, Aaron Davis, and he's caught up to him, and he's just having a talk about
same look.
where Miles Morales is on his track, really.
Kid?
There's a touching moment, a hug there between both of them.
Martin Lee. Someone got him out.
I know what you're thinking, Miles. This is not on you. We can't let him live up here. It's just another kind of prison.
It's not that easy.
Never said it was. But sometimes you gotta push the past away so you can make room for the future.
Yeah, and that's a really nice comment there.
That's actually
That
why I
sometimes, you know, you've got to push,
Need your help
you know,
getting
the
something.
past away so you can make room for the
get it
future.
myself,
Something
but
similar to that, and it's true. It's very
Parole
true.
means Prowler's
So
retirement.
this is what I said is interesting about some of the
What is it?
characters as well, is that
Just
how they
some
help
old tech I gotta get
define,
off the street.
you know, the superheroes,
Stashed
the
it by a
Spider-Man that
decommissioned
we have
rock
now with
lab
Peter
near
Parker and
Central
Miles
Park.
Morales. It's based on their, you know,
Yeah,
the
I know
people
the
they
one.
interact with, the people that have
Are
influenced
you really
them and
putting Prowler
everything
behind
throughout.
you?
You know, so it's interesting that the side characters provide that kind of
us.
stability and support and influence as well. It's a nice touch, and it shapes them out to be,
Getting some?
you know, who they are. Even though they have to make the ultimate decisions, it all helps with that as well.
Miles.
So it's touching, it's
That
interesting.
Lee business? Don't be stupid.
Yeah.
And it's telling them to keep grounded, you know what I mean? Just like in the other part where you say Peter Parker, keep balance, but there. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and please let me know about, you know, checking out the channel and checking out the voting polls and leaving votes, likes, you know, subscriptions help grow the channel and everything. Thank you, and take care.